hello. Hello, Sam. Hmm. No, absolutely not. Nice try. We actually have to get everyone else involved too. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see what the turnout's like. Hello, everyone. Where is everyone? Welcome. Okay, guys, we'll give it another minute as people filter in. We'll give it another minute before we start. Come on in. We will be starting very shortly. Give it another minute. Everyone should be filtering in. Come on, come in. Have a seat. Have a seat. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Have a seat. Have a seat. Okay, everyone. Put away your phones. Put away your phones. Put away your phones. I'm going to start naming names. Okay. Good morning. Okay, everyone. Shh, Josh. Okay, welcome, welcome. I hope everyone had a wonderful, super rainy weekend. So much rain came down. I hope you all stayed dry. Before we dive into our content this morning, I did want to recognize the drama team for an amazing play this week. Let's give them a round of applause. The actors did an incredible job, a really good job. You guys did amazing. It was really wonderful to see you become different people on the stage, and also all the people that helped, the stage manager and all of the other support people, the crew that helped, that stayed the whole time, helped pack up. We really appreciate you guys, and you guys did a phenomenal job. Mr. Kingsley, thank you so much. Let's give Mr. Kingsley a hand. It is not easy putting together a production. It is not easy coming together all the many pieces that it takes to put a production together. And so to manage that and to do that and then put on such a great play over the weekend was phenomenal. So you guys did a really great job. You guys worked together and it really showed. So you guys, I'm very, very proud of you. Congratulations for a wonderful production. And now you can breathe. It's over. Okay. You did it. Okay. So on that note, today we are going to be hearing from a fellow student. Our president of our National Honor Society is going to talk to you about not a fundraiser, a food drive that's happening next week. So he's going to explain that and explain what the purpose of the food drive is and what the background is. So let's give Sam a hand.
Hello, everyone. As you now know, I'm the president of the National Honor Society, and we will be conducting a food drive. I'll tell you the dates. So the food drive is not this week. We're just introducing it this week. It's actually next week on Tuesday, from Tuesday, so that's May 9th, till Friday, May 12th. The reason I'll get into why it's not going to happen on Monday, but so if you do want to donate, I'll get into how you can do so. But it would be to bring your food, so like it's all non-perishable, which I'll also get into. But you can bring that from Tuesday, the 9th, till Friday, the 12th. That's just next, not this week, but next week. So where does the food go, right? We're collecting all this food. We're not distributing it out. We're going to send it to Connecticut Food Share. So that's an organization that I'll get into a little bit more. But what we're going to do is we're going to end up collecting all the food that all of you donate. We're going to bring it to Connecticut Food Share. They're going to wait, and they're going to give us like a certificate showing what we did. So this is the link. If you want some more information, I can give you the QR code afterwards, but it's called Connecticut Food Share is where it's going. So we're actually partnering with another organization to do this. So about CT Food Share, this is just some information they said from their website. So they want to deliver an informed, equitable response to hunger by mobilizing community partners, volunteers, and supporters. So again, it's sort of an organization that's using other volunteers to help bring in the food. They were founded all the way back in 1982. Connecticut Food Share is a member of Feeding America nationwide network of food banks. So there's tons of food banks all around the country. So Feeding America is this big, it's like I guess you could say parent. So it's part of that. And it supports individuals and families from one end of the state to the other by addressing root causes, creating long-term solutions, and distributing nutritious food through local partner programs in an effort to alleviate hunger. So I'll get into a little bit more of the statistics of who really can benefit from this food drive. But you can see that they're these, not our food, because you'll see our food is that we donate is mostly going to go to local people. They'll try to keep the food local. But they have food that's being sent out to people who are in need, who are hungry, all across the state from one end to the other. And I can't see what that says, so I guess we can move on to the next slide. So, who do they help? This is what I was saying. So, just some statistics. In the previous 12 months, this is an estimate done by a study from that organization that I talked about. 73% of people had to choose between food and utilities, meaning that they had to choose between having food to eat on the table or to have utilities like heating, electricity, and stuff in their house. Additionally, 63% of the people who were surveyed had to choose between food and rent. So again, it's sort of a trade-off. They have to choose between being able to eat, have food for their family, or being able to have a place to live with rent. And I think that says 88 had to choose between food and medical. 68 had to choose between food or they're both really significant numbers, so it doesn't matter, but it's 68, yeah. Had to choose between food and medical care. So you can see there's just people, this is a huge, okay, that's not going to work. This is a huge number of people that have to choose. They have a trade-off between vital things, right? Things that everyone needs to have. They have to choose between because they don't have that. So just in Connecticut, more than 490,000 Connecticut residents struggle with hunger. Think about that. Connecticut is not that big of a state, and if almost 500,000 residents in Connecticut are struggling with hunger, it means that it's a significant problem, and there's people who in need. And then just looking at children, right? Children in the state, 131,000 children in the state are food insecure, which means that they have to worry about, the parents have to worry about having food on the table. And then there's people from all different walks of life. There's not just one type of person who's just or like a homeless person or non-homeless person. There's just all different people who need to have food, who they're helping. Who need it. So some examples are children, right? That's your students, right? Imagine being a student and not being and having to choose, having to have your parents or having to choose between these different things. And then there's just working parents, right? People who work and can't afford to get the food, and all different types of people. Seniors as well. Seniors and people with disabilities. So there's all different types of people that are being helped. So by donating, you're helping these people so they don't have to make this decision between food and utilities. They can be food secure and know that they have food on the table and not have to risk losing their house just to have the hunger as a need to live. And so if they don't have to lose their house to be able to survive. So basically, I'll get into a little bit of the steps of how you can donate. Again, it's next Tuesday, next Tuesday till Friday. So the food banks accept dry and canned food donations. Okay, so mostly I think it would be best to bring dry and canned food donations. Here's some examples, but it's called shelf stable. So, or non-perishable is the word that you hear people use a lot. And if you keep it in your pantry, it won't go bad. So, basically things like I'll go to the list, but if you keep it in your pantry for a long period of time, it won't go bad, because if you think about it, it's difficult to refrigerate things, and they want to be able to store it over a long period of time for logistical reasons to be able to get the food. So store it in your pantry so it won't go bad, and also make sure food has a sell-by date. You don't want to donate food that is past its sell-by date. So this is just some options, and again, you can see here all of these are things that if you tried to put them, if you put them in a cabinet for a few months, I guess it would be fine. So peanut butter, canned soup, canned fruit, canned vegetables, canned stew, canned fish, canned beans. I think that's just pasta and rice. So these are all things, a lot of canned foods, that's a huge thing. A lot of food drives are like just canned food drives, but other things that you can just store for long periods of time, just put it in your pantry. Those would all be good things that you could do. So we can go here. So this is how it works. So the first step is you or your parents or whoever has the ability to go out and purchase food can purchase some of that non-perishable food at your local grocery store. So that means just going to the store, purchasing it. There's not really there's no brand preference. It's just as long as it's the non-perishable foods that can be stored for a long period of time. Then you're going to give your food to your homeroom teachers. So they're going to take it during homeroom, and the next step is to ask them to write your name and the number of items you donated on a list. I'll get to why that's important. So we're going to give your teachers just a list where they can just write down your name, and then you'll tell them how many items, or they'll count how many items you donated, and they'll write that down. And then at the end of homeroom, a representative from the National Honor Society will go around to each of the homerooms, pick up the foods, and put them in the storage place that will donate. And then after that, you can relax and know that you helped give someone in need a meal. So there is an incentive structure to encourage people to donate. Homeroom teachers are keeping track with that list of how many foods you donate. So the top donors, the people maybe in each class, depending on how many people donate, will be recognized during a morning assembly. So not next week, because that's the week of the food drive, but the week after that, you'll be recognized during a morning assembly. You'll also receive a certificate. So we'll make a certificate that says your name on it. So you'll be able to have that. And also we'll make a little poster or plaque on the wall for the rest of the academic year that will have your name, that we'll put somewhere in the school, just to recognize you for being very helpful. So thank you. And again, these are people who really, it's dire need. They can't, they have to, again, I showed you the trade-offs that they're having. They're literally having to choose between having a place to live and having food to eat, having electricity in their house, having gas in their house to heat their house, and having food to eat. So by just simply going to the supermarket, getting something like every little bit, 5 cans of food, right, that can make a huge difference. That's meals for people who can't afford the meals, and who need the meals to survive. So that just those small donations or big donations can really help anyone. So thank you so much if you do donate, and just consider donating. You can see this is just a volunteer for the organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much. Okay, so that is all next week. And if you have any other follow-up questions, you can approach Sam or other members of National Honor Society, and they can kind of fill you in on more details if that's, if you have more questions. So again, a very worthy cause. So if you have stuff, sometimes you have stuff in your home that you don't eat, you thought you're going to eat, you're not eating it, it's in your cupboard, you can bring that kind of stuff too. So talk to your parents as well, okay? So again, let's give Sam a round of applause. Thank you, Sam. So I have a few announcements, and then I'm going to have Mr. Kingsley come up for a final drama announcement. First is dorm meeting. We will have our final year dorm meeting tomorrow after school, not today, tomorrow after school. So dorm students, that's a very important meeting because we will be talking about cleaning the dorm and also travel and the end of the year. So it's very important that all dorm students attend. Again, that's tomorrow at 3:10. Also, Mr. Shin reminded me, if you are going to purchase a yearbook, you need to do so online by tomorrow, right, Mr. Shin? By tomorrow. So if you have questions about that, you can go speak with Mr. Shin, okay? Another thing is we are going to be starting our student surveys today. So these are I'm going to just read what Dr. Swartz gave me. These are assessments that students make regarding their classes. They are kept anonymous, okay? The surveys are reviewed in aggregate in June to help teachers and administrators improve next year's classes. So student surveys are a chance for you to reflect on the different classes, okay? But it should be constructive, okay? Because we do go over your surveys with the teacher and sort of discuss how to improve classes. So keep that in mind, okay? So they don't go into like some black hole where we don't look at them anymore. We do look at them, and actually classes, can sometimes be changed because of student feedback. So make sure to keep that in mind. Okay, each of the next 7 days, 1 or 2 classes a day will be surveyed. Okay, we'll do so over the next 7 days so that students can stay fresh in completing the survey. Today, for example, students in 4th period and students in 8th period classes will complete the surveys, okay? So you'll do 1 or 2 a day until all the classes are covered. All surveys will take place in the 2 computer labs. Students who have study halls during those times of the surveys will be asked to do their study halls in Mr. Kingsley's room during the time of the surveys. So again, surveys will happen in the 2 computer labs, okay? So if you have a study hall and you typically use the lab, we are going to ask you to stay in Mr. Kingsley room until the surveys are done. The surveys won't take the whole period, but until the surveys are done, we want it to remain a quiet room so that students can focus. Please take the surveys seriously and provide good feedback. It'll be very helpful for us, okay? Also, the feedback should be based on your experience throughout the school year, not just recent weeks, okay? So please, again, these types of things are very, very helpful. If you are giving helpful, constructive feedback, that can help shape and mold a classroom, okay? So just think about your classes and think about what would be helpful for this class to hear, okay? The surveys take only about 5 to 10 minutes, okay? So you'll only miss some of your class. Although the surveys during character ed classes will be longer. Oh, no, not today. Oh, sorry. Hey. Will be longer since students will complete those surveys not only for character ed, but also your PE and activities period. So you'll take 3 during your character ed class, okay? But don't worry, then you'll come right back to character ed and we'll continue on, okay? Are there any questions right now for this? We're going to start this today. Adam, no. Okay, so on that note, Miss L. Friday is a half day. We are doing a community service project, which we will announce once it's confirmed with the outside organization that we're still on. Okay, so stay alert to that. It is a half day. Seniors, this is May now. Okay, so seniors, we will be wrapping up loose ends with you. Community service, certain other administrative issues will be wrapping up with you because we've entered into the last month. Okay, so just keep that in mind. On that note, I'm going to welcome up Mr. Kingsley to do the 2575 raffle. Okay, Mr. Kingsley.
Just one thing I'll say, and then I'll do the raffle. I just want to reiterate what Mrs. Kais said. Can we just give one more round of applause to all of our student actors and crew this weekend, all right? Our crew, and especially our actors, worked hours and hours after school to prepare. So you just all did again. Nothing new with Mrs. Kais said, but you just did such a good job, and it was awesome. So we're so proud of you. All right, so now the moment you've all been waiting for, we have the 2575 raffle here. I have all the tickets in here. So we raised $400 worth of tickets last night, all right? Pretty good, right? Give yourself a round of applause. So the winner will receive $100, okay? All right, are you ready? And just to keep it fair, I'm going to have Mrs. Kais roam through and make sure it's mixed up really, really good, but they're all in here, so. I'm going to pick, yeah. Yes, I'm going to pick so there's no conflict of interest here, all right? Yes. Yeah. So there will be no. Yeah.
Let me just look in here, and I'll
Yeah.
I'll make sure it's hair. I'll make sure it's hair. Okay, Mr.
Are we good to go? All right. I'm also not looking. There's no biases here. My eyes are this way. I'm going through the pile. I'm going through the pile. I'm going to the left, to the left. All right. I think I got one. Here we go. All right. I got one. All right. The winner is Mr. Roger Weatherall. All right. So, Mr. Weatherall, if you're watching, you have received $100. Please come to the BIA office to collect your money. Well, thank you so much for everyone for participating, and it all supports a good cause. So thank you again, all right? All right.
Okay, on that note, thank you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. We will see you later.